This video will cover the DegreeWorks exception types. Exception types. The following are exception types that can be processed in DegreeWorks. We will review and provide the recommended use of each exception in more detail. Also allow. Also allow is a recommended exception to use when approved. Also allow should be used when there is a list of courses that a student can choose from to take to meet the degree requirement, and there is an additional course that is not included in the list that has been approved to meet the degree requirement. Also allow should also be used when an exception needs to be made for in-progress courses for CPOST purposes. Substitute. Substitute is a recommended exception to use when approved. Substitute should be used when there is a one-for-one course substitution where there is only one course scribed to meet the requirement and an additional course has been approved to meet the requirement. Note for also allow and substitute. The outcome for the course exception must meet the qualifiers for the degree requirement as scribed in DegreeWorks. Exceptions will automatically be removed if any qualifier is not met upon completion of the course. For example, SPTE major electives have a qualifier that the course must be completed with a grade of C or better. If an also allow exception was made for SPTE 550 and the student received a D in the course, the exception would be removed and the course would move to the fall-through area and not count for a degree requirement. Remove course and/or change the limit. Remove course is not recommended to use, and advisors should confer with the registrar's office prior to using the remove course exception. The change the limit exception is used when there is a need to adjust the credit limit or number of courses completed to meet the degree requirement. This exception should only be used with departmental approval. It is generally used on the program electives to adjust the credit hour range if there are fewer credit hours needed to complete the requirement. For example, for this major there is a range of 7 to 28 credits needed for program electives. The student has 30 credits remaining to complete the degree. Advisors can use change the limit to reduce the required program electives to 6 credits. Best practice recommendations for using change the limit is to wait to process the exception until the student is close to completing the degree when they have the most degree requirements complete and it is known exactly how the credit range needs to be adjusted. Apply here. Apply here is not recommended to use, and advisors should have department approval before processing this exception. It is a very powerful exception. Apply here moves a course from one area to another regardless of where DegreeWorks has determined its best fit based on the scribe. It overrides scribing, rules, and qualifiers. Therefore, it can allow a course to meet degree requirements when it shouldn't. Advisors should use also allow or substitute first, and apply here only if and when those exceptions don't provide the desired result. For example, back to our SPT example with the qualifier that the course must be completed with a grade of C or better. If an apply here exception was made for SPTE 550 and the student received a D in the course, the apply here exception would override the rule and the degree requirement would be shown as met when it shouldn't, according to policy. Force complete. Force complete is not recommended to use, and advisors should have department approval before processing this exception. It is the most powerful exception. Force complete waives the requirement and overrides scribing, rules, and qualifiers. The force complete indicates the student doesn't need to complete the requirement. No credits are applied when it is used, so advisors must ensure students are earning enough credits to earn the degree. This completes the overview of DegreeWorks exceptions types.